yeah, people were following. Everyone was very inspired that you were, asking these questions. There were lots of comments. And it's also going to YouTube. So even if you're not on Facebook, you can see it on YouTube. Okay. Om Jnanatmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namashishtam Manamapi Shachiputram Achasarupam Rupam Tasyagrajamurupani Mataram Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramoho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurun Tam Natosmi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Ramane Gaurati Se Namaha. Jai Shri Gurudev. So we are here at our West London Mat, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat. The annual anniversary festival is approaching, and so we are happy to be here to participate in that. It will be a lower scale festival in line with government regulations. But nevertheless, it will be a festival, and many persons will also be joining through Zoom. So it will be partially a virtual festival, and that will be this Saturday. And in the meantime, we're here with Nanga Manjari again, and she had some questions yesterday. We answered the second question, but we didn't answer the first question. And the first question was how to be a better devotee. Was that it? And especially to understand the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, right? Surrender. So, very, very important question. As we mentioned yesterday, Sharanagati, it is the very life of our devotional practice. Without Sharanagati, everything we do is like a husk. You know a husk? Rice has a husk around it.
Oh, like an outer layer.
Yeah, an outer. It's just a cover.
Yeah.
So Sharanagati is like that. It's like the peel. Sharanagati is like that, the inner part that you want. And every morning we're singing this song, Invocation to Sharanagati.
Which one is that?
Usually it's the second song we sing in the morning. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kodi Swapar Shada Swiya Dhamma Saha Avatadi. In order to benefit all the souls of this world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to this world with his Dham and with his associates. Bhakti, what is the second verse? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedaya Swapar Shada Swiya Dhamma Atyanta Durlabha Prema Koribade Dana. He came to distribute this Ati Durlab. You understand that? Ati Durlab? Oh, this is Sadhu Bhashya, it's different Bengali. Extremely rare. Atyanta Durlabha Prema. You know Prema. He came to give this very rare Prema, Vrindavan Prema. Prema in the mood of Vrindavan, which is very rare. It's not so easy to get, so often that it is available. So, but how do you how can people really get this prema? This is the Vedas, they're giving us Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You heard of these? See, every other Indian knows these very well, but you are not Indian, you are Vaishnava. So you don't know Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You are Vaishnava. I think you did. So normally the Vedas, they are propagating these 4 goals of life. Dharma means like your duty. Artha means wealth. Kam means sense pleasure, and moksha means liberation. So normally the Vedas, they are celebrating these 4 goals of life. But Mahaprabhu came. Srimad Bhagavatam came and said, no, there's another goal of life. What is that? Yes, very good. Krishna Prema. This is the real goal of life. We won't be happy just by selfish enjoyment. We also won't be happy by just dry renunciation. Neither of these things will fulfill the inner need of the soul, the real necessity and desire of the soul. So this is sometimes called Pancham Purushartha, the 5th goal of life. This is what Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are both giving. So Mahaprabhu came to give that. Anarpita chirim chirat kurunaya vatirna kalo samarpayitam unuto jvaladasam sabhakti shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Duti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Vashachi Nandana. This is beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, describing how Mahaprabhu has come to give what was never given before, this very rare Krishna Prema. So he came to give that, but how can we get it, actually? Do we just sign a paper and say, yes, we want it? Yeah, that's the first step. But it's like if you say, oh, I want to be a doctor, then do you just automatically become a doctor? No, there's a lot of work, right? You have to go to university, you have to have lots of training, and so on and so forth. So in the same way, we can say, oh yes, I want prema. And that's good, that's the first step, but there's something else you need to do to actually get it. So what is that? Shikaya atyanta durlabha prema kori bade dana. Shikaya sharanagati kori bena baka tera prana. Shikaya sharanagati baka tera prana. So in order to give this very rare Krishna Prema, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught all the souls about Sharanagati. Baka Tera Prana. You can understand that. Which is the life of the devotees, right? There's a very nice verse. Oh, you're reading Sharanagati right now. And that verse is there. I can't remember it right now. Can you pass it to me? It's on the shelf there. There's a very beautiful verse that Srila Sridhar Maharaj wrote in his introduction. Thank you. In his introduction to Sharanagati, where he also describes this, how Mahaprabhu came to instruct the souls. Where is it? Actually, it's about Srila Saraswati Thakur. Here it is. It's a really nice verse. So this is in this introductory. So Sharanagati is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, right? And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he wrote a commentary on this, explanations of the songs. So this is many people they sell Sharanagati, but this is very special because it's with Srila Sridhar Maharaj's explanations. And so at the beginning, he has his own verses of introduction, and this is one of them. Saira charabdi samagnan jivan gorangi pankaje udritya sharanapater mahatmyam samabodayat yastasya bhakti siddhanta saraswati prabhur guru atyudara paramboja duli sham janma janmani. My master, so this is Srila Sridhar Maharaj glorifying his own guru, who is? Yes, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very good. My master, the universal guru, Bhagavan. My master, the universal guru, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, uplifts the conditioned souls submerged in the ocean of their whimsical activities, to the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga and enlightens them about the greatness of Sharanagati. Let me be a particle of dust at his supremely magnanimous lotus feet, birth after birth. Really nice verse. So all the jiva souls, Swaira Charabdi, means the ocean of their own material desires. All the souls of this world, they're floundering, they're drowning in the ocean of their own desires. That's what we're doing in this world, you know. Very nice, very nice. So all the souls of this world, they are drowning in this ocean of our own, this ocean of our own desires. So then what did my Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, do? He lifted them out of that ocean. He took them out of that ocean of their own desires. And then what did he do? He put them at the feet of Mahaprabhu. He put them at the feet of Mahaprabhu, and then what did he do? He began to instruct them in the glories of Sharanagati. He tried to make them understand how Sharanagati is the best thing that could ever have happened to us. Very nice. So this is the essential importance of Sharanagati. It is the greatest wealth of our life. That is the, and from one perspective we are told Sharanagati is the key, that Sharanagati is the means, Sharanagati is the path, is the way by which we can achieve the goal of Krishna Prema. That is one way we are presented with this. But another way it is understood, another way Srila Sridhar Maharaj has told us, is that actually Sharanagati is everything, beginning, middle, and end. Sharanagati is the way, but it is also the goal. It is the means, but it is also the end. In one place, Srila Sridhar Maharaj says that Sharanagati, it is like a cash-in-hand payment, not like a post-dated check, but like a cash-in-hand payment, meaning that as much as you are giving, as much as you are in the mood of Sharanagati, so much you are already giving. As you are giving, so much you are already getting. It is not like, oh, I will get this and I'll receive something in return. But as much as you're able to give that, so much you're already automatically receiving. That is the goal of life. And in one sense, we can say that is synonymous with Krishna Prema, because that is what Krishna Prema means. A very intensified mood of self-sacrifice, giving. Ultimately, love means sacrifice. That is the real meaning of love. Nowadays, we use the word love in a very cheap way, right? We say, oh, I love pizza, I love chocolate, I love movies, etc., etc. We tend to think of love sometimes as something that serves us in some way, that pleases us in some way. But real love actually means sacrifice. Real love actually means something that moves you so deeply that you want to give yourself. This is the real meaning of Sharanagati. This is the real meaning of love, and so that means Sharanagati. So then what does Sharanagati mean? No, in a general sense, it means the spirit of self-giving, self-sacrifice. It means that what we are doing is actually in the interest of whom it is being offered to. So all the service that we are doing is really in the interest of Guru and Gauranga. And our own ego is absent from there. Our own false ego is absent. We're not mixing our offering with our own contorted desires. That everything we're doing is truly for the satisfaction of Guru and Gauranga. So in a general sense, this is what Sharanagati means. It is in the interest, it is in Krishna's interest, not in our interest, and it is for them, for their satisfaction, not for our own satisfaction. This is like a distilled meaning. And then in the scriptures, they describe how Sharanagati can be appreciated in 6 different aspects. We can also mention, maybe before we go to that, Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given a summary. You know, you're reading Sharanagati, but actually you need to read this. Yeah, I mean, maybe first you can go through Sharanagati, but actually Prapana Jivanamrita, this is our main book. This is prepared by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj actually wrote this at the time that he started Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math in 1942. So this is like our Math book. Like our Math is founded on the teachings of Prapana Jivanamrita. So this is actually a very important book to read. And in this book, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's compiled many verses from the scriptures which are illuminating, which are discussing these 6 aspects of Sharanagati. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj also has his own original Sanskrit lines and poetry throughout it. And then in the beginning, in the very first chapter, which is all his own verses, original Sanskrit verses, he gives a very concise definition of what is Sharanagati. Bhagavad Bhakti Tas, this and our Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, he said that if you can take just one verse from all the scriptures, if you can just memorize one verse and put that into your heart, then make it this verse. So if you want to learn verses, you can start with this one. I will tell you. It is in the first chapter. I'll tell you the number as well, and you can find it easy. So it is the first chapter, like verse 40 maybe, or something like that. No, 35, verse 35. I can show you later. So the verse is Bhagavad Bhakti Ta Sarvam Ityutrija Viderapi Kainkaryam Krishna Padeka Shayatvam Sharanagati. So Bhagavad Bhakti Ta Sarvam, to have the faith that by Bhagavad Bhakti, that by devotion to the Lord, Sarvam, everything can be attained. You don't need to do any separate thing. You can get everything that you need, everything that you want, all of your duties, everything will be fulfilled by doing this one central thing. Just like Srimad Bhagavatam gives the example, you're watering the root of a tree, right? Then from the root, the water will spread to the whole tree. So in the same way, we give our devotion to Krishna, to Mahaprabhu, and by that, everything will be fulfilled through that central duty. Ityutrija Viderapi, and even if necessary, we will have to break the rules sometimes. In order to serve Krishna, we may sometimes have to break the rules. Like say at home, maybe you have an altar at home, and normally if you're going to make an offering, you have to be very clean, right? But let's say the person who was going to do the offering was delayed and they're not there, and now it is getting late, if you have, I don't know if you have a deity, but if you have a deity, then the deity is hungry and you have to give some food, right? So maybe you're not so clean. Maybe you're dirty. Maybe you didn't take a shower. But it's already 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, and the deity is hungry, so you have to go and give something, even if you're not clean. Sometimes we have to break the rules. And this is just one little example. There are many, many occasions when this will come up. So we cannot be too attached to the rules. The idea is not to follow rules. The idea is to serve Krishna, to make Krishna happy. Kainkaryam Krishna Padaika, and to Krishna Padaika, to take exclusive shelter of Krishna in every time, place, and circumstance. Sharyatvam Sharanagati. Now this is known as Sharanagati.
So kind of like always remembering the word, something like that.
Yes.
Surrender into himself.
Yes. To do everything in the interest of Krishna. Yes. And then we have, I'll read the translation from here as well. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Being governed by the faith that all success is achieved by serving the Supreme Lord, to abandon servitude to even scriptural injunctions and take exclusive refuge in the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, and every time, place, and circumstance is known as Sharanagati, unconditional surrender. And this is Vastu Nirnoy. This is the theme of this book. So then there are the 6 limbs of surrender. And there are different orders in which they are given. There's an order here, which is the order that is given in the scriptures. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur has chosen another order, which has also been appreciated by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, because in the order that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given, there is some development, actually. There's some development in the mood of Sharanagati. I mean, you can also see that in the other order, but anyhow, they both there's some significance in the way both have been presented. But so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he starts with the quality of humility. So humility in his book is the first of these 6 limbs. Doinya is the first. And that was pertaining to your question yesterday. We had some discussion there of the significance of humility in our life, of surrender. Humility, it is the first quality. We cannot attract mercy unless we are humble. There must be that space, that emptiness within us to receive, to attract. And also, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj has pointed out, that you cannot be moved to take shelter of the Lord unless you feel humility in your heart. If you feel, I have everything, I know everything, then you don't need to take shelter of anyone, right? But if you're feeling some deficiency within you, even in a material sense, if you want to learn mathematics or study literature, then you first have to feel, I'm lacking in some way. Then I'm going to go to a teacher who knows more than me, right? So this progression is presented in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, Doinya Atma Nivedan. So through a feeling of humility, one will be moved to take shelter, to offer oneself to the Lord. So then that is the next limb that is described. Doinya, humility, Atma Nivedan, self-giving, self-surrender. Goptritre Varanam means to accept the Lord as one's guardian, to embrace the Lord as one's guardian. This is the natural relationship between the Lord and the jiva souls. He is our maintainer, he is our protector, he is our guardian. So to embrace that natural relationship, and this limb is particularly significant because our gurus have said that this is the main mood of Sharanagati, to embrace the Lord, to accept the Lord as one's guardian. This is the central mood, and the others are all supporting that mood.
We know we should view the Lord as our guardian, and that's always, right? Not just like when we're in bad times and things, right?
Definitely, always. And also, as we develop, as our devotion grows, we will feel that what we considered to be bad times yesterday, we won't consider to be bad times today. This is a very elementary conception that, when we're in bad times in this world, then we take shelter. But first of all, as our conception develops, we won't consider bad times in this world to be bad times at all. So by that I mean, like say you don't have as much money as you want, or you lose your job, or these types of problems, or ill health. As our conception develops, we won't consider those to be difficulties. Actually, the real difficulty will be feeling separation from the Lord. That will be felt to be a difficulty, because this world is a very temporary place, and this world is based on illusion. So all the things that our body needs and our mind needs for its comfort, the soul doesn't need at all. The soul doesn't need anything from this world. The soul doesn't need a comfortable bed, or a nice house, or a nice car, or a nice job. The soul doesn't need a nice dinner, fancy food. The soul doesn't need any of those things. Our body wants that. Our mind and our intelligence want that. The soul doesn't. So as we evolve, as we come more and more into the soul conception, then all of these things that pull our bodies in this world, they will become further and further away from our consciousness. So it is not, as we develop, we will not identify so much with our nature in this world, our position, our circumstances in this world. But to call to the Lord in a mood of surrender, it is a natural expression of the soul in its pure state. No, without any relativity of this world or what's going on in this world. Now we have some identity in this world. I'm this person's daughter, I'm that person's sister, I'm this person's student, I'm this person's employee, I'm that person's neighbor. Everybody knows us in some way in this world, and we have some identity in this world because of these associations. But who we truly are is something else, And as we evolve, we will only identify ourselves as Krishna Das. Krishna Das and Krishna Dasi. That will be our only identity. That is the only identity of the soul. And that's what the exciting journey is, that true identity will begin to, like a lotus flower blossoming, so that identity will become more and more clear and emerge more and more within our consciousness. And we will identify less and less with all of our associations and connections within this relative world. So, in answer to your question, yes, all the time. That's what we just read too in Srila Sridhar Maharaj's summary, right? Krishna Pada Eka, exclusive shelter of Krishna in all times, all places, and all circumstances.
That's something that'll come eventually. We have to work on it.
Yeah, we're trying, and also we're praying. We try, but we can't get it through our own endeavor. Ultimately, this is another important. It's good you brought that up, because that's another important aspect of Sharanagati. That it's not so much about climbing a mountain as it is about catching hold of a wave. Or like if you throw a paper airplane in the air and it connects with a current of wind, right? A breeze, then it will just float in that breeze, you know. So it's not like, oh, I've got to do this today. I'm going to do Sharanagati, you know. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to get it today. It's about, please, Lord, please connect me with your current of mercy. Please accept me. And then, of course, we try and we do many things, but they are like an expression of our desire and our enthusiasm. It's not that we're thinking, I'm going to get it by doing this and doing that, but I'm doing this to show you how desperate I am. Can't you see me here jumping up and down? Please give me your mercy. This is what is special about the path of bhakti, that because in other paths you can do something and expect to get a result, right? If you do yoga, if you do hatha yoga or ashtanga yoga, you can expect to become free of your material attachment. You can expect to become liberated from this world. You know, if you practice, karma yoga is also in that line. But then if you're following the karma kanda section of the Vedas and you're, you know, doing different things in order expecting some result from this world, that's possible. You know, you worship this deity, you do this sacrifice, and you can expect to get money, get a good husband, or whatever, right? Like what I'm saying is that other practices, there's some security. There's some security there, there's some assurance, there's a retirement plan. There's some insurance there. You can expect to get something. Just like if you go to school and you know, if I get good grades, I work hard, then I can get a good job, most of the time. But in bhakti, it's not like that. Krishna, it depends on Krishna's sweet will. So if he feels like giving it to you, he'll give it to you. It's like love. It's about love. It's like if you love somebody, you want to be friends with someone, then it's not like, oh, I know if I do this for them or do that for them or give them this, then they're going to be my best friend. It doesn't work like that. It has to be some natural movement of the heart, right? It's not like, oh, I know this girl, she really likes this comic book or whatever. If I give it to her, then I can expect she'll accept me as her best friend. It doesn't work like that. Friendship is not bound by some mechanical exchange, right? It doesn't work like that. So there has to be some natural feeling in the heart. So developing a relationship with the Lord is also like that. We can't expect, oh, if I do this, there's a formula. It's not like there's a formula. But there are things that you can do which will increase your chances, right? like a lightning rod. A lightning rod is designed to attract the lightning, right? So there's more chances of the lightning striking the lightning rod than somewhere else, right? So we're trying to make ourselves into these like devotional lightning rods to maximize our chances of attracting mercy.
And what can we do to increase our chances?
Well, everything that we're discussing. The practice of Sharanagati, for starters. So, doinya, humility, atma nivedan, self-giving, goptricha varnam, to accept the Lord as our guardian. Avasya Rakshibe Krishna Vishwasa Palan. To have confidence in the Lord's protection, to have the faith, the confidence, the belief, the conviction that the Lord is always with us and always protecting us, no matter how difficult things may apparently seem to be. In Prapana Jivanamrita, one example Srila Sridhar Maharaj has of that mood of Sharanagati is Parikshit Maharaj. You know the story of the history of Parikshit Maharaj. Very good. And then that's how Srimad Bhagavatam came, right? So he was cursed. Only 7 days left to left to live. So what are you going to do?
Well, he was asking like very experienced people what he should do, and I think they were all telling him different things, like I think material kind of things, and he wasn't really accepting it. And then who did he ask in the end?
Shukadev Goswami.
Shukadev Goswami. And then he was told to like give himself up for the Lord, and that's how like he.
Very good, very good. So anyhow, the main point I wanted to make here is that he's been told he has 7 days left to live. But did he panic? Was he afraid? No. In fact, he was very powerful. He had some spiritual power. And he could have counteracted that curse if he wanted to. But he didn't. He wasn't afraid to die. And there's one beautiful verse in Bhagavatam, which Srila Sridhar Maharaj includes in his section on confidence in the Lord's protection. Tammopayetam pratiyantu vipra gangacha devi drita chittamishe dvijo prashishta kuhakas takshakova dasatvalam gayata vishnugata. Saying that, let this snake bird come immediately and kill me if it desires. I don't mind. Let my death take place immediately if it is meant to be so. My only prayer is that you will all know me as a surrendered soul. Mother Ganges will give her blessings to me, and that the tidings of Lord Hari, Vishnu Gata, the talks of the Lord, they will continue without interruption. This is my only prayer. So this is a very interesting point. This is a very significant point here. Why has Srila Sridhar Maharaj chosen this verse and included this verse in the section of confidence in the Lord's protection? You can understand that? Explain it.
Well, it's because he had full confidence that even after he died, things would still be okay. Like, people would still remember the Lord, and he'd be surrendered unto the Lord, and he was happy and confident in that fact.
Very nice, very nice. Good, good. Yes, yes. So this is proving that what does protection from the Lord mean? Does it mean that he will save your body? No, not necessarily, because he's about to die. But he's feeling that the Lord's protection is with him. So that means real protection from the Lord is not in connection with our body or the needs of the body in this world. Real protection is something deeper. Real protection means, as you said before, to always remember the Lord. So he's saying, let this body of mine die immediately. If that is what is to be, I don't care. My only prayer is that talk of the Lord, that wave will continue in this world. That wave which is taking persons towards truth, towards reality. That is pertaining to eternity. And whatever is in connection with this temporary world, let it immediately drop down and die. So that is real protection. To always remember the Lord, to feel the Lord's presence in one's heart. That is real grace, that is real protection. And that protection is always there. It is only whether or not we can perceive it, whether we can feel that or not. It is always there in all circumstances. Because everything that is coming to us is coming to adjust us, is coming to help us in some way. So it is his real protection. So doinya atmani vedam gopchichavarnam avasharakshibe Krishna Vish. And then finally, Bhakti anukula macha karjita svikara bhakti pratikula bhava varjanangikara. Or anukul yasya. I'm quoting from the song because it's easier for me to remember. But there's also like a list in that, you'll find that here. And there it is, anukul yasya sankalpa pratikulya vivarjana. What is anukul? You know the word anukul? No, anukul means what is favorable. So anukyasya sankalpa, sankalpa to accept. So anukulyasya sankalpa, to accept what is favorable. So what is everything that is going to help our spiritual life, to accept that. And pratikul vivarjana, what is unfavorable to our spiritual life, to reject that. So you're young, right? You're 12 years old. You're going to school right now. You have lots of decisions ahead of you. What you're gonna study, you know, what you're gonna do after your study, if you get a job, what kind of job, who are your friends at school, who do you choose as your friends, etc., etc. Lots of important decisions you're gonna have to make. So when you're making those decisions, what is your criteria going to be? These two things. What's going to be helpful for your spiritual? What is going to be the most helpful? Sometimes it's like you got to make the best of a bad bargain, right? Like maybe you don't want to go to school. You know, maybe you'd rather just live in the temple, you know. But right now it's good that you go to school and you get an education. So you have to make the best of a bad bargain, right? None of the options are really good. So you just have to choose the best that there is. So what is the most favorable, what is the best choice for your spiritual life? You will accept that. And anything that is not good for your spiritual life, you will reject that. These are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati in a very summary way, concise way. But very nice you're reading that Sharanagati, and as I said, I highly recommend, I don't just recommend, I insist that you must read Prapanajivanamrita. Gurudev himself, he said Prapanajivanamrita is the first book and is also the last book. Okay, we can stop there.
I think now I'm going to have a proper breakfast. Earlier I just had some fruits.
Sure, that's fine. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ji ki Jai, Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.